details.
Blog Talk Radio.
What up, folks? This is your boy Stylez. This is G.F.T Radio. You're listening to the show. We're doing a fellas night. So, fellas, you want to introduce yourselves?
You already know who it is. It's your boy Clint. Get at me.
You
your boy.
Know.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's your boy Jibril. You already know what it is. G.F.T Radio.
Yeah, and it's your boy Alex. Happy to be here.
All right.
Co-host,
Welcome.
Co-host.
Yep. Welcome. So, as everybody hopefully should know, we're doing the fellas takeover once again. We're going to be talking about what men think. This week we're talking about the way we love. So, fellas, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different subject matter that's going to tell the ladies, what we think about love, relationships, a little bit everything in between. Folks, the lines will open up at 10:15 as usual. You can call in at 657-383-1155 and tweet us at GFT_radio. Hopefully you're listening on blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio or listening to through the call in. So hopefully we'll hear from some of the ladies, some of the other fellas out there listening that want to chime in on the subject. Right now, let's get to it. Clint, you want to kick us off and let's talk about what men think.
Well, we had a lot of topics. Which one y'all really want to get into first? You want to get into to the what men of this generation, like what are we looking for in women now? You want to start there before we even jump into the relationship?
I think that's a good place to start. Yep.
Okay, so what today's men are looking for in women, they have a history like we should have a woman to take care of the house, this, that, and the third. I think in today's society now, you need a two-income family, right?
Yeah,
I could agree with that. Yeah. So when I'm looking for a woman, I'm looking for, they say independent. You get this thing that independent women intimidate men. I totally disagree with that. Like, I love me an independent woman. So that has to be a number one on top of my. She has to be independent. She has to be self-sufficient, so to speak. That's one of the first things. That's one of the first things I'm looking at. And where I'm at in my life, what I'm looking for in a woman is, I'm not here to really. I'm not trying to make somebody happy. I don't want to be somebody's crutch. You feel me? Like, I want to meet somebody that's already happy.
Right.
That makes sense.
Definitely.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be responsible for your happiness.
Right.
I want when we connect, we enhance each other, not so much dependent on each other to feel enhanced. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want it to be like a power. I don't want to say power couple, but I just want that sort of energy. You know what I mean? That enhanced, not that drained. What do you fellas like?
One thing you touched on that's big is like I want to meet a female that's already happy and that's content, or content with her situation, or improving her on her situation. Because like I know that's something that's a big issue in a lot of relationships. Is like people look for find somebody to bring them happiness, and like you gotta find happiness within yourself. So that's big for me. That was
true.
A big one for me. Like meeting somebody that's already happy, and like you said, somebody that's just. One thing that's big for me is that you gotta be ambitious. Like that's big for me. Like you gotta wanna, my thought process is I want to take over the world. Not necessarily take over the world, but have that mentality like taking over the world. So I want somebody that's along them same lines as me, like just as ambitious as me, because it's like if you're not pushing me, I need somebody to push me, and we push each other. Now it's not me just always pushing you to do something, and I'm not getting something in return. So being ambitious, that's big to me, and communication. Communication. Yeah. That's very big. You gotta know how to communicate with me, and then number 4, like you gotta be physically appealing to me. Like sometimes men and women sometimes get comfortable.
Hey, he's just telling the truth. He's telling the truth.
You gotta be physically appealing, especially if when you enter into a relationship, especially at the age we all in our 30s, we're pushing our mid-30s. Some of us we pushing 40. So you want somebody that when you're in a relationship, you're working towards marriage or you're working towards something long term. So you gotta be physically appealing to me. So those are big for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely agree.
Definitely agree.
For me, it's experience. If you haven't never experienced what it is to be in a relationship to hold it down, then really can't bring nothing to the table. Because if you've just been out there, you're just playing the field on a weekly, monthly, daily basis, then you're just really wasting my time. Because if I'm really looking for something, and if I know that it's a complete package that I'm looking for, I can already peep it. You know what I'm saying? So there's no need to waste each other's time and doing the whole, the two-step in the whole routine. So basically, experience for me is one, and also, is what the stability that you can bring. If I'm already established, if I'm already, settled, not settled in as far as a relationship, but settled as career-wise, I don't want to go back 10 steps back to try to get you stable. Nothing wrong with somebody that's trying to find themselves, but I want something that's stable and that knows what they want, that has a drive, and that's already, improving themselves. Because if I already, it took me, let's just say it took somebody 10 years to better themselves, and somebody's already in their second year in, whatever they're doing, and I just want somebody that's going to be, reliable, honesty, because somebody out there, they're just playing the field, they're just trying to come up on somebody, you know what I mean?
Definitely. That's one thing they don't talk about. Females, they always say men try to use females as a come up. There's a lot of females out here use men as a come up as well.
All right.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the one thing that you guys have touched on a lot of the most important, attributes, a lot of the most important things, and I'm definitely glad, everybody's honest, like you said, talking about, the physical attributes, the mental, the psychological. So I think basically, the one thing I noticed that we just all did though is that we definitely talked about what men want out of women, right? What real men want out of women. Luckily, we got a good group of fellas here, responsible, smart, so the ladies out there, they may not be hearing what they're seeing out there though, right? So you got some guys out there, some boys, some young men who haven't figured it out yet, right? And I think that's one of the issues that we see out there, is that these women are getting, knocked around and getting disappointed left and right because they're running into guys that are not as mature as they should be in their early 30s, mid 30s, even 40s. I'm about to be 41 in a probably about 3 weeks now, and my thing is I done went through so much over the last 20, 25, 30 years, out in this world, meeting women and dating, and I've been married before, and all this kind of stuff that you go through. You get through it. You get tired of dealing with the BS, right? And you get tired of dealing with, like you said, I think it was Jibril that mentioned, messing with women that are either broken or that are waiting for somebody to help them or kind of make them happy, that kind of thing. I think that it's taught us to feel like we need more, right? You want to be with somebody who has the psychological capacity to deal with a relationship, a real relationship. You want somebody that's stable enough in their career or in their life to be able to make time for a good relationship and be able to do the things in a relationship that need to be done. You know, and it doesn't have to be always dating, always going out somewhere, always partying, or you know, whatever you feel like doing. You know, there's other aspects to it. Like I think Alex mentioned, you know, the communication aspect. You know, actually a couple of y'all mentioned that. You know, that's the number one thing that I always preach is you got to communicate. You got to be able to talk to the person. You got to be able to, you know, have that, you know, dialogue at many different levels. You know, if it's going to be serious, if it's going to be funny, if it's going to be whatever the case may be, you got to be able to talk. And when it does come down to having a serious conversation, you got to be able to have serious conversations with each other, come to compromises or you know, make, you know, decisions that the two of you can live with in a relationship. And that's the most important thing, is being able to go through that and have the maturity level, right? You know, so for me, I like a woman that's mature. It doesn't have to be an age; it can just be in the mind. But you got to be mature. You know, you can't be out here, you know, still playing little girl games. You know, you got to be able to see the you know, what's bigger, what, you know, the big picture in life. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people get caught up with what's happening in the neighborhood, will get caught up with what's happening on Love and Hip Hop, or get caught up on everything else, and they don't realize there's more to this world than a little bit that you see in front of you.
And you know what, though, Willie? On top of that, you bring a lot of good topics and points. But at the end of the day, you can't let friends influence your relationship, too. At the end of the day, that's why men and women, that's why the relationship doesn't flourish, because the outside negativity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Outside negativity, because of if you got something good going on and you're happy and you're enjoying yourself, there's also going to be negative forces that trying to break that up. And you have to be able to, with your partner, understand that if we build something, we're going to stand on 10 toes and understand that nobody's going to come in our circle and break what we got going on. And if your partner doesn't have, men and women, if your partner doesn't have that fortitude or that mental aspect, then why even go that far, get to that point where you can just eliminate it by just a few words, a few questions or test subjects? You know what I'm saying?
It's something you mentioned earlier, Jibril, and just now you reiterated it. In my mind, it's like a microwave. Like, we live in a microwave society now. Everything got to come quick, right?
Right.
So even with relationships, I don't think nowadays people take time enough to cultivate the friendship to make sure the relationship lasts. You know what you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
People because we mentioned communication. You know, it's one thing to talk to each other. You feel me? But it's a different thing to understand each other.
Right.
True.
See, when you know, I need that understanding. So then, you know, sometimes when you have an understanding, communication sometimes it's mainly could be nonverbal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you already understand, like, this situation will go this way. If this happened, this, that, and the third, we can avoid that by just doing this. You feel me? See, when you cultivate something, when you cultivate a friendship, then I feel like you could withstand and weather the storm more too. You know what I mean? So when all those outside influences try to beat down on your relationship, you feel me, to where insecurities come in from both sides, you know, because that's one thing I think we touched on before. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes men are more sensitive than women, so we could, you know what I mean, like, we just go about it differently. We just more, you know what I mean, cold-hearted, so to speak.
Right.
You feel me? So go ahead.
No, I want to just touch on, I think one of the reasons that, you know, like you saying, Clint, like, we don't, in relationships, we rush into things, and we don't let the relationship cultivate. Like, we don't really get to know each other before, you know, a lot of us jump into relationships. And I think one of the reasons that push, like, females to want to jump into relationships is, like you said, like Willie touched on at the beginning of the show, it's a lot of immature dudes. So, you know, with like, even you look at the statistics, like, specifically, like, say, with black people, like when you look at the success of black women, like, black women are the shit. Like, black women really out here doing their thing out here in these streets. And, like, as us as black men, like, we definitely lacking behind them. So, you know, a lot of times with them, they struggle to find somebody on a level. So, you know, when they come across a guy that's like halfway decent, they like, man, I got me something. So, you know, they like, I got to get him before somebody else get him, because even when you look at the numbers, it's like when we just look at like raw numbers, it's like, honestly, it's more women doing black women doing good out here than it is black men. So it's like when it comes to the number game, it's like us as men, we kind of got to, especially if you got something good going for yourself, like you stable, you got a decent job, a car, a nice little place, like, you know, like you're a commodity. So it's like it's in our favor. So it's like sometimes it works in two ways for us. It's like it works for us in the way where it's like, all right, we got our pickings, like, you know, because it's just a simple fact. It's not as, it's easier for me to find a good female that got something going for her than it is for a female to find a good black man that got something going for itself. So it's like,
right.
So we take advantage of that situation.
Yeah. So I'm about to say, so when you segue in from that, I think a lot of women always ask the question then, you know, why some men, you know, get with a woman, you know, and then stick around for a long time but never end up marrying her for, you know, 2, 4, maybe even 10 years, you know, and you know, how does having that numbers game play into that? What do you guys think?
Well, I think personally, here's my personal opinion, because there's a big statistics of women that are successful that are not happy, because one bad apple in the barrel ruins it for everybody. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's successful men that's out there that's doing their thing and that can't find happiness, but there's successful women that are looking for happiness and they accept the person that comes to them and is false impression. You know what I mean? So when I come and I'm successful and she's already battered and bruised, there's nothing I can change her perception. I can't change her perception about black men or black, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but I get you. But I guess what he asking is, what takes us so long, like when we get into a relationship, what takes us so long to commit? Basically, right?
Right.
Exactly. I think
Go ahead.
I mean, you know, like I say, is it the numbers game that's causing some guys to do that, or do you think it's something else or is it something else that's at play here?
It's a paradox of things. That's the number. That's one, because, you know, and then even say if you're in a relationship and, you know, you like, sometimes it just be you comfortable. People get comfortable in a relationship and it's like, you know, what's the rush to take it to the next level? And then, you know, a lot of times for a lot of guys, like you said, it's just a pure number game. It's like, man, what I'm rushing to get married for, like, you know, like, and then you look at the numbers, and then a lot of, like, say our age group, a lot of our friends got married at a younger age. So, you know, sometimes you see things from a distance, like, man, do I really want to get married? You know, and then you could just even be in your own personal relationship, and you'd be like, man, I love her, but, like, man, why am I really getting married for? Like, am I 100% sure should I get married? And then, you know, like I said, for a successful black man, it's like, it's not, the world is kind of yours. Like, the world is yours, so it's like, what's the pressure of me getting married? So it's almost like you got to meet somebody that's going to sweep you off your feet, that's really going to be like, you know, and then, you know, sometimes that's hard to come by. People live their whole life and they never find somebody that sweeps them off their feet. So it's a lot of different things. It's a lot of different things. That's a loaded question.
I feel like it's definitely a loaded question. It's definitely layers to it. You feel me? Definitely many different layers to it, to why men don't commit. Sometimes it's just simply they not ready. You feel me? We not ready. You feel me? We not, you know, that's a big responsibility at the end of the day. You know, when you commit to one person, you commit to building a family, you know what I mean? Are you ready, or can you really handle that? You feel me? And you got to think, a lot of these dudes out here, they had no guidance. They had no example. So they don't know.
Right,
you feel me?
That's it right there. That's big.
You know, and you know, that's something people don't speak on. It's like, what example do I have? The examples we see, for the most part, are you know, we got a few good examples out there, but for the most part, you see, you know what I mean, failing. You know,
right.
First of all, in marriage, we already know like 50% of marriages end in divorce from the door across the board. You know, and then in our circumstances, from the environments we from the neighborhoods, communities we from, the poor, you know what I mean? It's like
you don't even get there. You don't even get people.
Yeah, you don't even get there. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Another thing, you know, it is, you know, sometimes, you know, it's like, at 100, do I really want to stop playing the field right now? You know what I mean? Let's be real. You know what I mean? Let's be real. You feel me? Like I tell, I'm never one of them dudes that be out there that be like, man, all these females out here is bad and hard. Like, nah, it's some like we done said multiple times tonight. It's a lot of good women out here, bro.
True.
You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, if you really expand your little circle or your circumference where you looking at, it's a lot of good women out here.
Definitely.
So
I had a conversation with my grandson's dad, right? And we were talking about how, you know, being in relationships, you know, the options that we have that are out there, because, you know, I was telling him, like, you know, I'm ready to settle down again. Like you said, I got married and then it didn't work out. So now I'm out here, but I'm not out here, right? So I think I found what I wanted, right? So now I'm like, I'm ready to build on that and come to the eventuality of marriage again, right? But the thing is that, you know, for him, he's like, well, I found what I like, but I just want to find something else that I like, and I want to find something else that I like. You know, there's a lot that's out here. And at first I was like, well, if you're happy with the girl that you with, then, you know, why move on? He's like, hey, I'm young. And I thought about it, like, yeah, you know what? You are, right? He's 20, I think he's 24, 23. Like, his life is just beginning, you know. And right. Not that my life is ending or nothing, but you know what I'm saying? My thing is that, you know, like Clint said, you know, the thing is that he's looking at it from the point of view of he can still get out here and do his thing. You know, I can get out there and do my thing, but in my experience and what I'm looking for and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to build on something. I'm trying to make something. I'm trying to have a shared experience with somebody for a long period of time. You know, hopefully forever. Not you know. Not have to keep going out here and searching for something else. So the thing is that, you know, your experiences and maybe your age, maybe, you know, what you've been through, you know, that's what's going to guide you, right? That's what's going to help you to either settle down or move forward, you know, or keep moving around. You know what I'm saying? So, right, discipline. It might be, yeah. So I think a lot of times, you know, especially with the younger guys, is that, you know, and it's harder for them because they're looking at it like, hey, I haven't had enough experiences out here. I haven't had enough of what I want out here, you know, to really settle down. And then I've known some guys, and they've even gotten older to the point of they'll be with a woman for, you know, 5, 6, 7 years and still be unsure. Right, you know, but the thing is, they don't have the fortitude to move on. You know, it's like, why keep you know, dragging this relationship along that you feel so unsure about, and just make a move away, get out of that situation, move on to the next thing, whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got some kind of
let me ask
phobia about marriage, then, you know, that's different. And I've had a guy literally tell me that he felt like, if he got married to the girl he was with this woman for like 15 years, unmarried, 15 years. Live together, they share bills, they share a house, they got, I don't think they have kids, but they got everything else together. His thing is he feels like as soon as he crosses that threshold and makes it a marriage, he feels like that's when it's going to fail. He just truly has a phobia about marriage as an institution. Go ahead, Alex. Or Jibril, I'm sorry for that. I think
No, go ahead, Al.
I think you hit a key part. Is like one of the reasons a lot of people relationships go that long and they don't ever fully take that next step to marriages, especially for like a lot of people be in relationships out of financial reasons. It's like, you know, we splitting these bills. we live together. It's just easier for us to knock the attack life together. But it's like, they got their issues still, whether it be they don't know how to communicate. I ain't getting enough of this. She ain't feeling she getting enough affection. But at the end of the day, we got these bills together. So, man, I can't afford to handle these bills by myself, and and it just be that comfortable. So that play a big part. Like, people just get comfortable, and that they just want to tackle. It's easier to do things as a two than attack these bills as one. But then I'm not going to get married because I know we still got issues. And at the end of the day, when we break it down, we really don't got no business really getting married because we know it ain't going to work. Our relationship ain't string already.
I personally know somebody that works with me, and he's been married before, 68 years old. And he personally told me, he said the reason why he got remarried and got married, the reason why he got married again is because he's been there, done that. His only child is old enough, he has his own family, so he doesn't wanna not to say die alone, but he wants to be happy with somebody else and to find a connection that basically like he waited all these years to find, and he's known this person for 20-something years, and so now 20-something years of a relationship of living together, so why not just do it? Not off a necessity of just for the sake of why not do it? It's just, I want to be happy, you know what I mean? I don't want to die alone, basically. And the conversation that I have with him all the time, every day, is like, what keeps you going? What keeps you motivated? It's like he said, is building on to what something that I want to build on and what she wants to build on. And like Alex said, attack life together. You know what I mean? We're going to attack life together as a unit instead of just separately just living our own life. You have your own house, I have my own house, but we could just see each other on weekends. No, we're going to attack this on together. You know what I mean? And so he makes perfect sense.
One thing, my boy Chris, his uncle. One time I was having a conversation with his uncle, and his uncle was married, and he told me something that was, that made so much sense to me. This was years ago. This had to be over 10 years ago. He was like, when him and his wife got married, he was like, you know what makes our marriage continue to work? He said, nothing changed. He said, we refused. Yeah, he said, we refused. He said, all we did was, just make it official in God's eyes, so to speak. But at the end of the day, the way how we dealt with each other, the way how we moved before, we continued to move the same way. He said, as time go on, you mature, you outgrow certain things, you both get different interests or whatever, you grow together, but you don't switch up what got you there. You feel me? It was the reason why y'all was together for so long to begin with. So why switch up now just because now we saying we're husband and wife? You feel me?
Right.
And I thought that was dope. I thought because a lot of times it don't happen like that. You feel me? I know people once it was one way before they got married, and then as soon as they got married, it switched.
So that's what I think. I think of some men fear, right? They fear the switch. They fear the change that marriage, or at least they believe that marriage is going to bring about. And I think that some men, and not even think that. I've heard it that some men feel like that the woman that they're marrying is going to eventually flip flop or switch up or do something differently as they progress in the relationship. And sometimes they're right. I went through that. And so that could be correct. But the thing is too, is I think you have to really get to know who you're going to be with, right? You have to really get down to the seriousness of the matter, and then if that person starts to change, work with them through the change. Communicate with them through the change. Like the one mistake I made, and I admit it, one mistake I made in my marriage, in my former marriage, was that I didn't the necessary steps to communicate with my ex to see why the change was happening, what was going on, what was happening that, you know, it was painfully obvious to me, but I felt like, you know, basically, let's just say out of fear. Like I feared the change and allowed that fear of the change to keep me from finding out why it was happening. You see what I'm saying? So basically, the things progressed and it got out of hand. Once it got out of hand, now I'm unhappy with the situation, right? And I'm sitting there like, okay, now you done made these mistakes. Now you done did this and you done did that, you know, me to her. And so now I'm mad, right? Not realizing that I allowed that to happen. I allowed those changes to occur. I allowed that situation to escalate and never put the fire out. You know what I mean? I never stepped in and said, you know what, take ownership of this, even though, you know, it wasn't my doing. It wasn't me that did it. The thing is I recognized it and I never did anything about it. You know what I mean? So I felt like, you know, or at least I know now that, you know, you have to get in front of this. You know, a marriage is a working relationship. It's a living thing. It grows. It moves. It changes from here to there. You can't just sit around and allow it to just get out of hand like weeds in the garden. You can't just let it just crop up and grow up and choke everything out because you don't have the bravery to get in there and pull those weeds out. Mm-hmm. All right. So, I think that's what a lot of young guys miss is that they don't realize that change can be good sometimes. You know, sometimes it doesn't have to be a bad change. It could be a good change. You know, it could be your woman's growing or you're growing or your family's growing and things are progressing. You know, we get married young. You end up, 10 years later, you're a new person. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that your marriage is going to sit still. I understand what old boy was saying that things didn't change, but the thing is, I bet you things did change. Something changed throughout that relationship, but the change was good and they enjoyed it and they can live with it, right? But some people go through changes and end up in a situation where things aren't good. But then they don't tackle the not good part and they end up letting it fester. You see what I'm saying? And you have to get in front of that, and you have to communicate, and you have to work on that. That's why you got to go to counseling. You got to get with your pastor, or you get with a therapist, or you get with whoever, and you work through that if that's what it takes. If it doesn't take that far, get with your mate and make that change, or bring that change to reality to say, hey, look, I see this as a problem. I'm having a problem with this. Let's fix this. You see what I'm saying? You can't just let it just go.
So personally today I made the step, you know what I mean, of taking that next step in my life, in my chapter, of getting married to my girl. You know what I mean?
Oh man, congratulations, bro.
Thank you. So I know what I wanted, and I know I'm done with this bullshit. You know what I mean? Because been there, done that. Because of the simple fact that like. Hey, soulmate, I consider that, but at the end of the day, friends before soulmate. You know what I mean? That's my best friend. You know what I mean? The understanding. You know what I mean? The cordialness. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like I don't foresee problems coming out of it. You know what I mean? And for me, amongst my friends that are already married, to be in that category and to say, you know what? Not to say for the popularity contest, oh yeah, you know what? Or I got married. Oh, I'm getting married. No, I'm happily getting married.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's a difference between just getting married for the sake of peer pressure, of just doing it because of that's something that you want to do and take that next journey in life. Life is about a journey. You know what I mean? Whatever happens down the road, you know what I'm saying? We don't have control of that. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you can work on it and build on it and go from there.
Right. Yeah. One quick second, fellas. One quick second, fellas. Just want to say to the listeners out there, if you want to call in and give your input, ask your questions, please give us a call at 657-383-1155. Phone lines are open. We're definitely taking questions. We're also on Twitter at @GFT_radio. I'm actually tweeting with some folks now. Definitely put in your 2 cents there as well. All right, go ahead.
I definitely want to hear from the ladies. I want to hear what the ladies got to say tonight, man.
Yeah, definitely.
What you was about to say, though, Al?
I think that's where maturation comes in, like being more mature, getting older. It's like, that's me personally. My personal belief is like, that's why I don't believe nobody should get married like in their early 20s, or because just think from I know me personally. I'm 34. From my mentality of thinking from when I was 25 to 34 is completely different. Like, so it's like, I just think as a male, you just gotta live life, because you switch up. You grow. And I think because I know when you get married, that's supposed to be for life. Like, that's not supposed to be we're gonna get married. If it don't work out, we'll get divorced. It ain't that big deal. Like, that's supposed to be for life. And it's just, I think, especially for men, like women are, like it's already said, women are naturally more mature than us. So it's like, they might be ready to settle down. But I think as a young male, like, are you like 20? Like, you ain't really live life at 25. So you're gonna end up breaking that poor girl heart, because it's like, you might have good intentions initially, but it's like, man, life gonna get the best of you at that age. It's not to say that applies to every male. Obviously, that's not the case. But it's just like, I just think you need to live life. You need to date. And you need to see you need to learn life, and you need to really find yourself. It's like, you really don't really. I know for me, you really don't start really finding yourself and knowing where you really how you want to attack life until like your late 20s. Honestly, even in your 30s, you're still learning. But at least in your 30s, you be more mature, and you know how to handle dealing with women more, because at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship, it's work. So it's like, when you get to that point where the relationship at work, y'all arguing more, when you're younger, it's easier for you to be like, man, fuck it. I don't want to be bothered, and you go do whatever. But when you're older, you take a deep breath and you be like, all right, I know what this hitting for. You just know how to attack it better. So I think that's one of the things that attribute to the divorce rate being so high. And another thing with the divorce rate being high is like, and it comes to like with black people and our culture, like, honestly, getting married is not big in our culture. Like you said, a lot of us came from single parent, households, or our mom and dad wasn't together. So it's like, we really didn't have that example set for us. So it's like, you got guys that, really, a lot of us ain't had no father figures in the house. And then you got a lot of these females, they was raised by single moms. We all know, like, what our moms are strong-headed women, where it's like, man, I could do for stuff. I don't need nobody.
Right. True.
The combination of the two, sometimes it's like mixing, like oil and vinegar, water and vinegar. Like, it's just not going to mix. So it's like, that causes a lot of issues too. So I just think, like, with men, like, we got to live. My advice would be to any younger guys, like, man, I ain't going to say don't get married, but trying to get married in your early 20s, or I just don't think that's a good idea for those reasons I stated.
I think I feel you. I think it comes to experiences. Excuse me. We grew up. Some of us grew up quicker. Some of us was late bloomers. You feel me? Some of us was trained, like you said. Some of us had a figure, some sort of something to follow, a blueprint. Others didn't. You know what I mean? So my thing, when it comes to whether they get married young, if you got a blueprint, so to speak, I really can't knock it. If you want to get married young, as long as you're aware of what's to come. You know what I mean? As long as you're aware.
Right.
You feel me? Don't wing it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people are winging it. Right? Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't wing it. Because like we all have said here, by the mid-30s, you're a completely different person.
Right.
You done live so much shit that happened to you that you may have never thought will. You feel me? You don't know what's coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's something you have to be aware of. Me personally, I'm with Al. I knew at 20, wasn't no way in hell I was getting married at 20.
Right.
You feel me? No, one, just not. Just not.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's some shit I want to do. You feel me? Just me. You know what I mean?
Well, one of our Twitter commenters at Right Down to It 3. She said that life experience is essential. If not, marriage will make you grow or go. But that's the sad part of it, right? Is that a lot of people wait for a marriage in order to grow, in order to figure it out. So I think that it's the worst time to do it. Because one, you're gonna ruin that relationship with that person that you with if you don't grow and you end up going and you end up using that as a stepping stone to your growth later on, and then you have other people that are involved, be it your kids, be it other family members, whatever the case may be. It's a lot of collateral damage that occurs after that. But
I never wanted to learn on the job.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? Like I didn't want to learn on the job like that because that's what I felt like. I couldn't communicate as well as I do now at age 20. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I couldn't deal. I deal with conflict much better. I still have my issues with dealing with conflict, right. But I deal with it much better than I did. I was hothead. Like I ain't beat. What? You feel me? Bro will tell you. You know what I mean? I'll tell you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when it comes to that, like, so now it's different. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So, like, I never wanted to learn on the job. So I ain't want to have to, now I'm committed for life because I'm like, I take that. That's supposed to be for life. You feel me? This ain't for play.
Right. Well, okay, so this is my thing, though. This is my thing. Is that I think some people have to get out of the fear, though, sometimes of learning on the job when it comes to the fact that if you realize what it takes to keep that marriage going. Okay, so if you 25, you 30, and you've been with the same person since you 18, and at 18, 19, 20, probably not a good idea. 22, 23, you probably still working things out. You get to 30 years old, and you still afraid of what might come, and that you're not ready. I think you're playing yourself at that point. You know what I'm saying? I think at that point you got to figure out either you're gonna do this or not, and if you're not gonna do it, move on. You see what I'm saying? And I think that if you recognize that, okay, you know what, just like you said, it's for life. It's not a game. If you recognize that, then take the steps that it takes in order to make the relationship work in a marriage, right? When you're in a marriage with somebody, you're doing this to build a family, right? Either to build, between the two of y'all, build this thing that can withstand time and withstand the pressures of society and withstand, the pressures of maybe even family and friends. So you're building something, you're building everything on top of what you consider a love between two people, right? And you taking this thing and you're supposed to be working towards either the end goal of we're gonna be together forever, we're gonna build this empire together, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and having that life partner, right? The thing is if you take the seriousness of that and say, okay, if a rock in the road comes, don't trip over that rock in the road. If some barriers come up, get over them together. Pull that person up with you. Take that woman and pick her up and send her over the wall, and she's going to pull you over as she go over. Whatever it takes, do what you got to do to make that work. You see what I'm saying? Learn how to do it on the job. Like I said, sometimes you gotta humble yourself. Get that get that advice from other couples. Get therapy if you need couples therapy. Talk to a pastor or talk to somebody that you trust, another married couple that seems to be getting it right. Whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're gonna hit a breaking point. You're gonna get a point where you're gonna feel like, we went through this situation and we almost feel like it ain't gonna work out because we in this situation. But if you recognize the seriousness of the matter and say, hey, we're not gonna let X, Y, and Z keep pushing on, then work towards that and keep working at it. You know what I'm saying? Because I best believe you get into a certain job you're not going to do the same job at that company forever. They're going to have something. They're going to add a little something extra. They're going to give you a little something more. Somebody's going to get fired, and you're going to get their position or their work, not even their position. You're going to get their work, and you got to learn how to do their work. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes they might be able to be the ones to tell you, or you're going to have to get the information from somebody else. You might have to do some research. You might have to get a book and learn how to do their job because nobody's there to teach you. That's what marriage is about.
And what I've seen personally in this generation in our society is what's glorified as the norm is what people gravitate to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And with everything that's going on in society as far as family households and social media and everything like that, we don't see happy couples being glorified. We might like back in the day, we all used to watch the Cosby Show. Husbands were happily married, prosperous like him. Okay, so now we all see, and society and culture always promotes, monogamous relationships. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the single man, reality shows showing you, you can go on a date and date all these women and nothing like that. They don't show you the end result of after everything is done. You know what I'm saying? That ultimately, you're going to be by yourself, or you're going to be happily married, or you'll have a family. But society nowadays also lets us know that if you don't have money, you can't get married. If you do have money, you're going to get married multiple times. So what is it?
Yeah, that's basically that's basically how I look out there.
It is.
You feel
it's crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have a substantial amount of money and you're not exclusive with somebody that has somebody else that has money, either you're going to get taken advantage of. Prime example: Black China and the dude. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
She had no money. She got married, had a kid, and he was just looking to happy. He was looking to be happy, But no, somebody else came and finessed him. So
how old is he?
I don't know how old. Oh, I don't know how old they both are, but I know one has money and one doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So no,
they're in their early 20s. Early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s, late 20s. Yeah. So now the person that did have money, that saw that he had, came from, a happy family, that, mom was married, whatever their relationship, his background was, he was looking to establish a relationship. And then somebody came, like everybody said, swept him off his feet, not knowing that it was for a monetary gain. So when we see that, we're like, oh, we don't want to be like him. Women are like, oh, yeah, I want to find a dude like him.
Right. True.
So,
that's
true.
So we want to get into a relationship. So what is the ulterior motive at the end of the day? That's what scares people away.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. I'm sorry. Black China and Rob are late 20s. They both 29, 30, something like that. So and that's just. But I think like you said, the thing was, the difference here was motivation and what they call it, the ulterior motive, right? In terms of her true intentions. Her true intentions, which, I mean, people have been saying it from the get-go. We're not even going to get into that. That's a whole nother issue. The thing is, though,
but that's with a lot of relationships, though. It's like, you feel me? What is true intentions? Mm-hmm. You feel me? What do we? You know what I mean? What are your reasons to get married? Like, some people get married for the wrong reasons. You feel me? And it also goes back, to examples. Sometimes we have to take responsibility for the examples we follow. You know what I mean? Like, if you feed your brain all that negative aspects of something, that's all you're going to see. You feel me? That's all you're going to associate with it. Negativity.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you consciously make an effort to feed yourself some positive reinforcements about that situation, you know what I mean, you may look at it differently. It may balance out.
Right.
I want to get to what I want to get to, though, real quick is the love and respect thing.
Oh yeah.
do men? It's a book, basically. It's a book called Love and Respect that I was reading before. You know what I mean? I was in a relationship. We decided to read it together. It's a book you're supposed to read with your partner anyway. And it comes from the perspective of, in a relationship, men value respect over love, and women value love more than respect.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, so it's like when the communication, when it's that communication breakdown, and you caught in what they call a crazy cycle, to where it's like a never-ending argument. Y'all always at each other's throats, and you can't seem to understand why y'all can't get past certain issues.
It reminds me of like that movie between a thin line between love and hate.
Feel me? So it's like, so when you're communicating, a man shuts down with a woman, on a woman, right?
Right.
We know that'll kill him. Silence kills him, especially when they're trying to get a point across, and silence kills them. You feel me? And it says that when we in that back and forth, that crazy cycle, the women really just are looking, that communication is their form of love. You feel me? But men, we value respect so much that when they yapping at us, you know, we shut down because we don't want to hear that. So now we're not going to give you that love you seek because you're not showing us that respect we feel we deserve.
Right.
Yeah.
How y'all feel about that?
That's a double-edged sword.
I think with that comes, it kind of goes back to like you said, communication, because where respect come in, it's like with a lot of women, you know, like I might not even be their attention, but they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to talk with you. They only know how to talk at you. Yeah. So it's like when somebody's talking at you, eventually it's going to touch a nerve with you, and then you're not going to be beat for the conversation no more. So that's a lot of issues in a relationship. It's like, you know, if you talking to me, it's like it's going to go in one ear out the other. And I think a lot of women don't grasp that concept between talking at me and talking with me. So that plays a big part. So that's what we like to then go to the respect part. It's like, you know, when you got a certain level of respect for somebody, you got to talk to them in a certain manner, because a lot of women don't realize that. And then, you know, respect is everything for us. You know, like we might take more heed to respect than we do to love, because love might be secondary to respect to us. So it's like, and you know, some women don't grasp that concept. So that causes a lot of issues in relationships. But then, I guess as men, that, you know, and it comes with maturation also. As we get older, you know, you done dealt with different women. You come to learn that, you know, with women are emotional creatures. So it's like,
exactly.
I know she emotional. I know how she's gonna react. So it's like when you get older, you know how to be like, all right, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because I know she's emotional. But when you're younger, you're not thinking along them lines. So, you know, it causes conflict. So it just comes with, I think, you know, as far as when it comes to relationship matters, that's where I think that it goes back to getting married at a young age. Like, stuff like that, you only learn that through life. Like, that's not something somebody can teach you. That's not that's just something you just pick up through life. So, you know, you both of y'all 25, and then y'all get to that point, it's like, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's like you really going to have to buckle down and fight and weather through that storm to make it. And, you know, that's big. That respect and love thing is that's one of the differences between men and women, where, you know, the yin and the yang type of thing. So that's my outlook on it.
Yeah, that's what breaks up a lot of marriages, that love and respect. You know, because, you know, if you already have rules and, you know, boundaries established, and one person doesn't seem to understand, you know, if I love you, you're supposed to respect me. And if I respect you know what I'm saying, it's vice versa. But then somebody might go off the beaten path and want to write their own book, and then here comes the part where, all right, so we didn't agree to none of this, so it's fuck you, and then it's all this beef. But if there's rules and boundaries set in place, that love and respect is always going to be there, and the communication is open. The line of communication has got to be open. And we all, like Al said, we all want respect. You know what I mean? So if you want to talk to me with respect, because I'm going to show you love when I talk to you. But if you show me disrespect by talking to me, then you won't get that finger wave and get out of my face.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I myself, you know, through my years of maturing and going through different relationships and different situations, you know, I've learned, like you said, to recognize when the emotions are coming out and when the situation has gotten to that point. You know, I was told, I forgot who told me this. I want to say it was either my dad or my father-in-law. One of them told me, like, you know, you have to recognize the fact that, you know, women are emotion-based, you know, people, emotion-based creatures, right? And men aren't. We just aren't, right? We're not wired that way. We can have emotion and we can show emotion, but at our base, emotion is not how we operate. We don't operate off emotions, right? And to see it in action is completely different from somebody telling you. So, like when Alex mentioned, you know, not being able to be taught that, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. You can't be taught that. You have to learn it, and especially when you're going through a situation with certain women, you know, because you have to be able to recognize the nuances and the clues and how they're reacting to what you're doing or how they're reacting to what you're saying to them. You know, to be able to pick up on that and to realize, you know, at some point you either got to agree to disagree or you have to switch up what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're doing it, or realize you haven't won or that you lost, right? You know, whatever the case may be. And I think that a lot of that comes with being mature enough to recognize it, for one, and then also being mature enough to deal with it, right? And to be able to sit back and say, okay, you know, show her the love and the emotion that she deserves in order to be satisfied, right? You know, I think I told my kids this a long time ago. I want to say it was when either my youngest were just born or hadn't been born yet, and I was dealing with my older four, and we were going through some issues, and I sat them down and I said, look, you don't have to love me. You don't have to love me one bit, but you're going to respect me, and you're going to respect my house, right? That's all I care about, right? What I had either said or did at that point was let them know that there's an important thing here, and the important thing is showing that respect, and without even mentioning to them that when you do show respect, you are actually showing a nuance of love there, right? Because you gotta love a person enough as a person at the very least in order to respect them, right? You got to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, or I respect, you know, I love you enough to think that you know what you're talking about, at least to be able to respect you, you know, whatever the case may be. There's some other things involved there in order to respect a person. But the thing is, that was not the most important thing to me. My thing was, you have to be able to, you know, operate a certain way around me or around in my vicinity. You have to be able to deal with me at a certain level, and I'm gonna deal with you at a certain level. See what I'm saying? So you gotta be able to do that for that woman. But the thing is for that woman, you might have to add that emotion to it, because that's what she needs. That's what she wants. That's what she wants to feel. That's what she wants to hear. She don't want stark, you know, black and white answers. She wants you to be a part of the solution, right? You know, don't give her a bunch of instructions. You got to be able to say, you know what, baby, you know, we in this together. You know, I understand that you got a problem with this and what I'm doing. You know, I'm going to do all I can to understand you and to be able to appreciate the fact that you want me to change for the better of not only of your, you know, of your getting off your nerves, but also to better me and to better us and to make this relationship work. You see what I'm saying? You set a woman down and tell her that, she gonna love you forever, because then you recognizing what she really wants from you. All right,
you giving away game for free, Willie. You giving out game for free. I'm taking that. I'm taking that right there, Willie.
Hey, I'm telling you, man.
So let me ask y'all a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Let me ask y'all a question. So I guess Willie kind of alluded to it. But as men for men, I guess it's obvious that respect is the number one thing for us. So, since we want respect from them so much, do we take their love for granted?
I say yeah. I think at times, men we take women love for granted just for the simple fact, you know when a female is really into you, and a lot of times when a woman is like really into you and she loves you, she'll do damn near anything for you. So, and sometimes as men, that can be a power trip sometimes with some men, because he's like, all right, I got her wrapped around my finger. So we definitely take it for granted, and sometimes we show in our actions that we take it for granted. Like, we might stop, showing them affection, or we just, don't spend no time with them. So we definitely take their love for granted, and sometimes it's on to the women. Sometimes with us men, we need to be brought back down to earth. Sometimes we can get big-headed, and we need to be humble. So that's why having a certain type of partner, you need a partner that can humble you. Because if you got a partner that's just a female, just just going with the flow, a lot of men, you're going to run with it. You're going to do whatever. You're going to be out there just doing whatever. And we see it all the time. We see it all the time with fellas. We see dudes, and they got a good girl, and they out here. They got kids on the side. They got all types of other stuff going on. So we definitely take it for granted at times. Definitely.
When I first seen that movie, Coming to America, let's see, I like this. When Hakeem was like, do you love me or you want to be with me? Say whatever you want. But like, bark like a dog. I don't want a woman like that. I just want to agree with everything I say. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a woman that's going to do what I say to do. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to have your input in it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. And I'm going to let you know if you're right. And if I'm going to let you know if you're wrong. But if I'm always right and you always agree with me, it's like having somebody in the streets that's just is always a yes man.
Yeah, the yes man. We don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want no yes man around. I don't want no yes man around me. I want somebody that can put me in check, let me know if I'm doing something wrong, and I need to correct it and see my actions, you know what I'm saying, before I self-destruct. But there's a lot of dudes out here that just want a woman to kind of like be submissive. But if you have a submissive woman, that means you just right all the time. You know what I'm saying? You just want to do whatever you want. But if I'm always doing what I want to do, then when I do something wrong, there's nobody to check me. Then when I go out the house and I'm in the streets, I never learned that in the household in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go out in these streets like, oh, yeah, I'm the man out here. You know what I'm saying? No, but when you go home, you're going to say, oh, well, you know what? You're right. No, let me know what I'm doing wrong. Put me in place. Sometimes it goes back to the love and respect thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the common denominator as where it acts as though, like, if I'm doing something wrong and you don't check me, I'm always going to feel right. And then as soon as I do something wrong, I don't know what I did wrong. You never tell me I did something wrong.
Mm-hmm. That could be
what
a
am
problem.
I doing wrong now? What did I do now? So that's where the argument starts. That's where the arguments and the bickering and the fussing starts, because, women just let dudes fly with whatever. But if you have a strong black woman, a white woman, or Asian woman, or Hispanic woman, any type of woman, you know what I'm saying? They always say, I always believe in the saying that behind every good man is a good woman. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
It still got to be a balance. Like, you want a woman to be submissive, but, it got to be a balance. And then you got to be pulling your weight. You can't just be sitting on the couch and you ain't bringing nothing to the table and want a woman to be submissive. So, but you definitely got to be a balance. Like, you want your spouse to be submissive, but like you said, when you want your shit, you want somebody that could be like, yo, baby, you ain't on point right now, and to humble you and let you know. So, it got to be a balance to it.
It's basically what it comes down.
Freak in the sheets and lady in the streets.
I need a woman. And I hate using the term, like saying what's a real woman. You feel me? Because I think that's come down to preference. But my type of real woman, you feel me, is all of that. You feel me? She, I feel like a woman is naturally submissive to a man.
Right.
You feel me? A real woman to me is secure in that role.
Right. Facts.
So, like, that discussion really doesn't have to come up with a woman because she's already playing her part. She knows when to check you. You feel me? Like, she knows when to back off.
Mm-hmm.
It's a man, let him be a man. You know what I mean? Whatever. Now, I mean, I ain't talking about going out in the street. I'm just like, you know, men like to do certain things that men like to do. You feel me? We like to relax the way we like. All right, let him be in his own space right there.
Right.
You feel me? But I know when to step in, this, that, and the third. You feel me? So, like Al said, I think it's natural for a woman to be submissive. And I don't like these, you know, I don't understand why these females think they have to be out here trying to be like a man, thinking like a man. Like, you can't. You can't.
Yeah.
Like, don't fall for that lie.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I personally feel like there has to be that balance. Like he was saying, you know, you have to have that balance of you got to be able to call me out on my shit, right? You got to be able to say, hey, you're not doing this right. Because my thing is, I want to be able to learn from you. You know, I know what I know, but I know that it's not enough, right? I know there's something else out there for me, right? I know there's some new experiences you can show me. I know there's some new things that I could get, you know, put in front of me, and I can, you know, I can partake in it, right? You know, so that's what I'm always looking for. And the thing is that if I'm messing something up, if I'm not doing something right, or if I'm making decisions that aren't on point with what we need in this relationship or what we need in this life or whatever the case may be, you know, call me out on it. You know, I need that because, you know, and from somebody I love, you know, that's love to me. That's love to me, is to be able to say, you know what, well, you did this, and this today, and, you know, that middle thing, that didn't help. That didn't help not one thing, you know, that kind of screwed things up. Or you went and bought this knowing that we don't need that, you know, I'm going to need you to, you know, take that back, you know what I'm saying? So call me out on it, you know, so that way I can grow. That way, I mean, because it's always a learning experience, right? We got something else to learn in this life. You know, you I'm trying to think how the saying goes. You know, you pretty much, you learn until you die. So if you stop learning, you dead. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, if I can learn that from the woman that I love and that's in my life, then I'm more than willing to do that. I'm willing to learn from her, and vice versa. I should be able to teach her something. I should be able to help her through something and be able to give her some advice and some knowledge, and we should both be mature enough to take that and build on that. You know what I mean? Either if it's critique, if it's assistance, if it's guidance, if it's suggestions, whatever the case may be, we should be able to accept that from one another. We should be able to have that kind of relationship, and that's the kind of relationship I think that we, you know, is beneficial for everybody. You know, because if one person is doing all the, you know, I think, and I forgot who mentioned that, you know, sometimes, you know, the arguments come up. I think sometimes some men get kind of turned off because, you know, they're getting nagged, right? And they may be hearing either the same things or multiple things back and forth, and they might feel like, oh, you know, what have I done now? You know, what did I do this time? You know, or why doesn't she think I ever do anything correctly? You know what I'm saying? And so you have to have a balance. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's one thing I can suggest to the women out there. You know, if you women, y'all know when y'all nagging your dude. You know when you on his head 24/7, right? Take some time out to praise him on what he does right, so then that way he can get a balance. So he could feel that love that okay, yeah, you know, today she got on me 2 times today, 4 times yesterday, a couple times last week, but you know, she followed up with, oh, you know, you washed the dishes for me today. I really appreciate that. You did that. That was, you know, we really needed that to be done. Or you cut the lawn, and I didn't even have to ask because I need to get out there and pull these weeds, and you took care of that. That's one thing less on my plate I got to do. Or you did X, Y, and Z. You know, praise him for what he does do right, or give him a little pat on the back about something that he got. I mean, that right there. And everybody responds differently to different things, but figure out what it is. Figure out, if you love that man enough, figure out what it is that makes him feel good about how you feel about him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of always being on his head. You know what I'm saying? Because that will turn a man off. A man is going to be, you know, feeling like he getting ragged on if all you do is ever just be on his head 24/7.
Right. So definitely, I definitely agree with that sentiment.
All right, I just want to say real quick, we are in the after show.
For sure.
So since we're in the after show, fellas, we like to freestyle some things. Now, I mean, we could switch it up a little bit to to whole different topics now. What I want to talk about real quick is what's going on with the NFL.
Oh, man.
As far as, the protests, Trump, I mean, we got about 15, 20 minutes. I just want to run through it real quick, get your opinions on it. I feel like, real quick, I just want to state my premise. I feel like they hijacked Colin Kaepernick protest. You feel me? They switched the narrative from police brutality, that's the stuff he was protesting, inequalities, to now it's about the flag and the national anthem and all of this nonsense.
Exactly.
Also, I feel like people are falling for the okie doke with Trump because now, remember before the season started, everybody was like, don't watch it because they didn't sign Kaepernick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't watch it. Don't watch. But now you get Trump going on there, and he's saying, you'll see, the ratings are down, everything is down because of the protests that Colin Kaepernick started. People hate the protests. You see how they try to switch the narrative?
Exactly. You have to watch and see who kneels and who doesn't.
Yeah, so, but now it's like, hold on, bro. A lot of people ain't watching because Colin didn't get a job. But now you're trying to switch it up to saying, no, people not watching because of Colin.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
he basically hit the on the head. Like that's exactly what they did. He changed. But even though I hate, we all feel a certain way about Trump, but that man is clever because he basically won his election on switching the narrative. So it was like that's basically what they did, and it's sad that it's come to that. But to me, it's almost like I had this conversation when I was at work with this white guy. He was telling me his brother said he wasn't watching because, like you said, they don't switch the narrative to they're disrespecting the flag. And it's like when I tried to explain to him what it was really about, it was like he heard me, but then it was like he just went back to what he was saying. So it's almost like they're putting a cover in their ears. They're like, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. So it's like I just feel like us as a people, it's like I'm guilty because it's like I was like I shouldn't be because it's getting to the point where I feel guilty for even watching the NFL because I see the narrative that's what is being made, and it's like even more than that we got to be more united and together and like really take a stance and be like we got to show our power now as a unit, our economic power to be shown like when y'all do some and that what happened with ESPN. With Jamil Hill, the way how they stood up for her and they didn't allow her to get fired, like that's really how we got to flex our muscle on them. Just like that. Like when y'all do something foul, like nah, we're not gonna let it go down. If it do go down, we about to show y'all. So I agree with you.
And that's the thing. We have a collective effort of minorities that are financially not well off that believe in what Kaepernick is saying. But when it comes to the NFL, the same people that are in power, that are role models to a lot of our kids and our youth, right, that have the power and the position to change the things that are going on, are just doing it right now because it's going to affect them and their pockets and how they're going to look at and who's going to watch them. And that's what Donald Trump is saying, is that NFL owners and NFL should make these people, you know what I'm saying, not get paid if they do what they're not supposed to do. And we're looking to see which guy that has money on there that's going to do it. If I was on the NFL team and I had all this money, every game, I would take a knee. I don't care how much money they take from me, just so Kaepernick can understand he's not by himself out there.
All right. Definitely.
Well, I feel like, I think it's a wrap for him. I think it's a wrap for Colin. I don't think he's going to get a job. I feel they're going to switch the narrative so much that, you feel me, the NFL team's going to be like, it ain't worth the headache.
I mean, but I'm not going to give up and say it's a wrap from, even though I kind of want to say it's a wrap because it's looking like it, but the only reason that's making me say maybe not is because it's not just him no more. It's everybody. Even though it took for Trump to make some stupid comments for everybody, but they should have been moving like that from the rip. But just for the simple fact, it's everybody doing it now. So it's almost going to be like, all right, maybe one of these owners might think, maybe if we do hire him or we sign him, maybe it might slow it down a little bit. Maybe it might, take the attention off of this whole them protesting. So I'm thinking maybe that might be the case. And just for the simple fact, just on a sports level, like, these quarterbacks out here suck. Like,
right.
I
agree. I agree that they have to take a step back and realize that there's a good quarterback out there that needs a job, right? And regardless of these protests, it needs to be that needs to be separated. Let the man work. Let him save your team, whatever it takes. And I think that too, the biggest thing with the protest is that with, like you said, with the switch up and everybody kind of now taking a stand of, you're not going to, like with the stand against Trump, like, you're not going to dog out everybody about the protest because you don't want them protesting. And, you see now white players are taking a knee. You see there's the owners. There was a couple of owners that went out there. One, I saw the one, he didn't take a knee, but he was out there in the chain link with the other players. Like, you're not going to take away their ability to protest. This may not be the protest you want, but this is going to be the protest you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's huge because at some point they need to take the stand. They need to take a stand with their employees, right? I think every company recognizes that, especially when it comes down to the situation with Trump and the situation and every situation he brings up, and people need to fact check him on everything, because the thing is, like you said earlier, is that, he gonna switch it up. He gonna try to put his own spin on it, right? He gonna try to make it his own thing and try to put himself in a greater light, because, he thinks he's got to be the one that's in the spotlight, regardless of what the situation is. And, so somebody's got to call him out on every turn, And so the thing is that I think as this thing progresses, as more people take part in it and more people recognize what it's really about, and I think that's the sad part to me, is that, the man has spoken out back when he first started doing it, to say, and even in the press, to say, hey, I'm doing this because of this situation here. Nothing to do with the military, nothing to do with the country as a country. He's like, I'm not crapping on the military. I'm not crapping on the flag to say, I disrespect the flag because of blah, blah, blah. He said, look, we got a situation going on here where you have black lives being trampled upon, and no respect given to human beings. That's what he's protesting. The fact that this country needs to look at that and be more conscientious of that and do something about it. It's something it's ridiculous to me to think that still a year later, or a year and a half later, that nobody gets it. Not nobody, but a lot of people still don't get it, and they still so up in arms. I literally saw. Go ahead. Yeah.
What about the fact that, all right, this is the greatest distraction that this man is putting in front of our eyes, but we just forget that we had all these major hurricanes that just happened. Okay, nobody's talking about all these hurricanes. Harvey, Irma, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not doing nothing about that, but he's portraying himself to be, for the people. But the great country that we live in right now is suffering, and we're worrying about the $1 million players that we see every day. But the people that don't got no money, he's not worried about. He's not being a president. He's crazy. He's crazy. You know what I mean? We just forgetting about everything that happened and the attention is diverted to something that doesn't matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying there's greater things out there that matters more than NFL players that get money for each game. Okay, the equality, the injustice still matters, but human lives matter too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's what it's all about, and I think that's what, you feel me? I think they're protesting against him and the people that think like him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, and then somebody said something earlier, I read earlier, they was like, white people don't protest, they boycott.
Boycott, get it?
And that's what black people need to start doing. And that's basically what this is about. Start boycotting some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And then we'll start seeing change. If even with Trump, you feel me? A lot of his Trump antics are because it helps his businesses. You feel me? Helps his business dealings. You understand?
Yeah.
So if we could start hurting the pockets of the people who influence, who support Trump and all that, you'll see change.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see his attitude change.
Right.
You feel me?
See, that's the only reason why we seen a lot of these owners coming up, because
Exactly.
Trump started talking bad about the NFL. So they're like, hold up. Now you trying to mess with our money. Now you talking about the viewership is down. Hold up. Let's stay, because once he started, that's their pocket. So if it wasn't for that, like, you wouldn't have seen all these teams doing what they just did this last week.
Exactly.
It would have been a couple of individuals still doing it, and it would have been that. But once he, like Clint said, once he starts touching them pockets, then it's like, hold up. So that's what it's going to come down to. Like, we going to have to flex our muscle in that way, because that's the only way, honestly, that really change is really going to be made. You know, the only thing that works against us is, you know, it's a numbers game. It's not that many of us, you know, in a grand scheme of things. But we so influential in the way how America is run. We can still flex our muscles. So, you know, to me, we moving in the right direction. We moving in the right direction. Like, Colin Kaepernick is going to go. History is going to shine on him very brightly, because he really brought it to the forefront. And, you know, I think he did his job, honestly. Like, you know.
Something Willie said, oh, man, I just had a thought. As far as, like you said, he brought it to the light. You feel me? They switched the narrative. What's his name? Cam Newton. Cam Newton today came out and was like, you know, he a legend.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's like, he going to go down as a legend. He put it all on the line. He martyred himself.
Sure.
You feel me? For the cause. Like, he martyred himself. You feel me? So, like, and then they had Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter come out and said something the other day. She was like, you know what I mean, history quick to forget. Before my dad died, y'all all hated him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Now they try to make it seem like everybody
loved him. Everybody loved him. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of people have issue with him, Fidel Castro. You feel me? Always take doing history on him. You feel me? One thing he always said, history will absolve me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You feel me? History will absolve me. So at the end of the day, you know, right now, you know, it look crazy, but at the end of the day, I think that light going, like you said, that light going to shine bright on him, bro.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to have a place in sports history as far as, like, you know, for the greater cause. Because
it's about social history. Social history.
Social history.
And, you know, I think he should take the stance like what's his name? What's the guy that was playing football, ended up playing baseball, sucked as a football player, and now he plays baseball, but he's really heavy into the charity thing. Tim Tebow. So I think he just needs to take the stance, the thing of the same kind of situation that Tebow did. You know, football. If football don't want you, go find something else for now. But keep doing your thing. Stay out there in the social light. doing your thing, you're protesting, doing your. I mean, he does a lot of charity work out there. He does tons of charity work. I'm talking about Kaepernick. He does tons of charity work. Mm-hmm. You know, he goes into different situations, shows his face, uses that platform, right? So, you know, I think he just needs to just stick with that for now. If things do die down eventually, I think he could come back to football. If it doesn't, I mean, I'm sure there's a career out there for him. There's a career out there for that man. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he is fine because he seems to be doing just fine regardless. You know, we taking a stand for him and all, but the man seems to be, you know, taking it all in stride. The best thing that he can do is be silent. But the best thing that he can do right now is still be silent and let us fight with him. And the way, you know what I'm saying, the way he's doing it right now, I commend him for that.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's gonna go down because
exactly
he sparked it.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. You feel me?
He woke everybody up.
And this is the point I wanted to make. When Willie said people just don't understand, you know, people still don't get it. But Al said it earlier. They just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, true.
They get it. They get it. They know what it is. But the reason why they switching that narrative is they don't want to hear it.
Right.
You feel me? They don't want to have that discussion. You feel me? It's like Greg Popovich said. You know what I mean? I salute that man. You feel me? Like, you feel me? We gonna act like we not privileged out here. You feel me? Like y'all don't want to have that discussion. You feel me? That discussion scare y'all. Why?
Right.
You feel me?
Like I was listening to New Jersey 101.5 this morning. I'm at work, and the guy in the morning show, he worked at 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. side. Like literally, his whole show was about like how white privilege doesn't exist. He even found some cool ass dude that wrote some article about like how black people are financial, some type of mess. And I'm like, wow, like these people, they're not going to give in to that narrative, or they're not even going to give in to the fact that they got privilege. Like, they don't want to hear it. They don't want nothing to do with it. Like, so it's to me, me personally, I'm taking the stance of forget, and I feel like we all should take that stance, like, forget trying to play that victim role. Like, they know what it is. We know the history of America.
Hey, guys,
everybody in the world know it. So
hey, guys,
we just got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, I just realized we got a caller on. I'm going to let him jump on real quick before we wrap up the show. Hold on one second. Let's see. One.
You on there?
Oh, maybe I lost him.
I was at work today, and a guy that I work with, who is white, was telling me, do we know the history of the national anthem, the song?
Caller, can you hear us?
Yes.
Caller, you there? Oh, okay.
Oh, let's go.
Go ahead.
Hello,
what's going on? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on? Talk to us. Yeah,
my name's Tanya. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Hello?
I think we're about to lose you. The show about to go off.
Can you hear me? My name's Tanya.
Oh, go ahead, Tanya.
Yeah.
Well, I had a question in regards to the whole kneeling for protesting, and I just feel like a lot of people that are protesting in the football arena and other aspects of sports, it was a great symbolism.
Oh.
But I'd like to see more media attention put on these guys actually putting in the work. I mean, is that something that you think is viable besides protesting?
You know, I think it's viable, and I think it's something that we can do, or we can see them do, and they should definitely do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to probably bring up this in the next show. We're 50 seconds from shutdown, but thank you for that question. We're going to definitely answer it on the tweets as well. Check out our show every Thursday, 10 p.m. At GFT_radio on Twitter. We're on Google blogtalkradio.com/Google GFT Radio Show and GFTRadioshow.com. Go ahead, Clint.
You already know. Catch us in 7 days. I'll at us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Man, God bless everybody. Woo-woo.
Thanks for Al and Jibril for joining.
Everybody have a blessed one.
Stay on the line, fellas.
Is that the new iPhone?
Yeah, got it on T-Mobile. Fastest iPhone deserves America's fastest LTE network.
Introducing the amazing iPhone 8. It's the best iPhone yet, now on America's best unlimited network. For a limited time, save up to $300 on the amazing iPhone 8 after 24 monthly bill credits. And now join T-Mobile's iPhone upgrade program for free.
Eligible trade-in and finance agreement required. If you cancel service, you may lose promo credits. Contact us for details. Video at 480p. Small fraction of users over 50 gigs per month may have reduced speed. See store for details.